Good morning, ladies. It is Thursday. I cannot believe that it is Thursday. These weeks just keep going by faster and faster. And this week we are talking about confidence. But first, if you could like and subscribe to this video, that's currency. This is free. I get up every morning at 4:45 and we are live here on the show 6 o'clock every morning. So if you could subscribe, that helps with the algorithm to push this out so that we can reach good messages to more individuals. So this week, we're talking about confidence. And today we're going to talk about some of the limiting beliefs that we have that are holding us back. So why do we even want confidence? What is confidence? What does it feel like? Confidence is that trust within yourself. It actually comes from a Latin word, fidere. If I said that right, that sounds a little more Italian than Latin, but fidere, which means trust. So with trust. So it's the trust that we have within ourselves. It's the trust that whatever situation we're working on, that we're going to get through the situation. It's the trust in ourselves that we can do, that we can be, that we can have. It's that trust, it's that faith. And what does it feel like? It feels like that slipper that you put on and it feels good. That, when you just put on, I think, a Cinderella, and she puts on that glass slipper and it just felt right. That's what it feels like. Yesterday, we talked about comparing and how we're not going to compare ourselves anymore, because when we compare ourselves, it's really counter to that feeling of comfortable, because we're saying, well, they're there, and I'm here. Maybe I should be, or maybe your ego is inflated because you're comparing to somebody else who's not even at your same level. So are you being true and authentic to yourself when you're comparing? It doesn't feel good to feel like we are less than someone else. I had someone tell me recently, they're going back to school. He said, Jen, I find this true story. He reached out to me and he said, I'm doing really well in school. I found that when I surround myself by individuals that are not as smart, that I do really well. And what, and I smiled and I said, okay, I understand, he feels good about himself because he's smarter than everyone and he's teaching everyone. But at the same time, is he learning and growing from everyone else? And I said, look, take this for whatever it's worth. It's good to surround yourself by people that are smarter, and they actually help lift you up so you can grow more, versus you having to lift people up, or you just feeling good about yourself because you have this inflated ego because, you're smarter than the other people. So I said, just take it for whatever it's worth. But when we start doing this comparison, we've either got an inflated ego or a deflated ego. But when we're just focused on ourselves, like my running example yesterday, and when I started focusing on the other runners, I wasn't able to coach myself through the situation. And so that's why we want to focus on only ourselves. So we have belief system. Everything in our life is a belief. It's a decision. It's a choice. And whether we realize it or not, we've got tons of beliefs. And we started this belief process when we were very young. We believe that the stove is going to be hot when it's on because we touched it one time. We believe maybe a dog will bite us because it did one time. Or we believe that all dogs are sweet because we've only had good experiences. Whatever that may be, we've created a whole repository of beliefs throughout our entire life. Now, if you go and touch, let's say you believe that all dogs are mean, and then you meet a dog and that dog is sweet, and then you meet another dog and that dog is sweet. Well, then your belief system then starts to shift, and that's a decision. That's a choice that you make. See how that works? So you believe that something is going to happen. So we have these beliefs, and you can decide if you want that to be true or not true. And the reason we have those beliefs is because of many. It could be from your parents, it could be from your friends, it could be from, the culture that you grew up in. There's tons of reasons why you may have that specific belief system. But it doesn't mean that whatever you have is what it needs to be for the entire duration of your life. You just decide, you make the choice to change your decision, your choice, what your belief system, you change these. And we talked about how the brain is a goal achieving machine. So whatever we put our mind to, our brain is going to start to believe that. And one of the examples that I love the most is when you think about a relationship that went south. And let's say when that relationship started, you thought, oh, that person is really great. And for all of these reasons. And then something started to happen and the relationship wasn't going so well. And you start to think, okay, well, this person is a jerk for all of these reasons. And not only is this person a jerk, but has one crooked tooth that, yeah, I thought was cute before, but now I don't think is cute anymore. And you just start to go through all of these reasons and these justifications. But that's because our brains are these goal achieving machines. And whatever we set our minds to, that's what becomes our reality. And just like food, you are what you eat. Your belief systems become your reality. They become you. They consume all of your thoughts. That's just how it works. These brains are so powerful. That's why it's important for us to understand how to get a handle on them. Because if you don't have a handle on your mind, then it has a handle on you. And whatever comes into your space, you just react. And you don't have control over that until you realize, hey, I have a choice. So that's a lot. That was a lot into mindset and some really powerful topics there in 7 minutes. So what are some limiting beliefs, these beliefs that we have going on in our subconscious that are keeping us from our confidence? And again, why do we want confidence? Well, first of all, we know that confidence is sexy. It's not that we want a bad boy. It's that we want somebody who's confident on that motorcycle. Yeah. When somebody walks in and they just stand with their shoulders back, that looks good versus coming in and I don't know, am I gonna find somebody to talk to in this bar? I don't know. Anybody? Maybe I'll just sit here in the corner by myself. That's not as attractive. Some guy that walks in and says, oh yeah, I want to talk to you. You're like, yeah, talk to me. That's how confidence works. So confidence, it's that ability it's that trust in yourself. It makes you sexier. You can walk into a place like I have and people literally think, they have asked me, do you own this place? Because I just walk in and I didn't go behind the counter and start like doing things, ringing people up or handing out money or whatever. I just walked in, like just standing there. But, because I have that confident demeanor and I'm like 6'4" or 6'5" when I walk into a place, I don't know. I think that has something to do with it. But when we tell ourselves that here's the first limiting belief. We're going to go through 3. The first limiting belief is that we're not pretty enough. I'm not pretty enough. That undercuts our confidence. Oh my goodness. What is that Amy Schumer? I should have looked this up. Oh, I am pretty. I am pretty with Amy Schumer. That is like the best video on confidence. What happens to Amy? So Amy's gained some weight and she's not feeling good about herself. And she's comparing herself to all these other women. And she takes this cycling course and all the women are like barely sweating. She's like, she's really struggling through the class and she's just sweating and whatever. And so she's comparing herself. She's telling herself, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. My dating life sucks because I am not these things that these other women are. So she's comparing, she's telling herself she's not good enough. All the things that we've said here that undercut you in your confidence. Yeah, that was everything Amy Schumer. And then what happened? In the movie, she Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. She falls off and she hits her head, although it's probably in the promo because this is what the whole movie's about. So she falls off her bicycle, and she falls off and she hits her head. And what happens? Something in the universe happens. She hits her head so hard that she gives herself confidence. So she wakes up and she's like, I am so sexy. I am the best. I am amazing. And she started telling herself all of these things. I mean, I kind of wish I had been hit up in the head. Like I just fell off. I've fallen off my bicycle before, and that didn't give me confidence. I wish that had been me, but I had to learn. I had to grow into my confidence. I didn't start out this way. And yeah, maybe if I had just been hit in the head, it would have been a different story. So she starts to act differently in her life. She starts to interact with people differently, not just females, but males. She was able to get up and like, hey, let's dance. Hey, let's go on a date. Hey, let's do all these things that she didn't do before because she was comparing herself to other people and she didn't feel that she was pretty enough, good enough, skinny enough, whatever enough, all the things enough. She wasn't them. That was Amy. But all she did was hit her head and all of a sudden she has confidence. And guess what? She's going on dates. People are like, I don't know who Amy is, but I want to be around her. That's what confidence is. Go watch the movie. I Am Pretty with Amy Schumer. She's a comedian. She's amazing. She's so funny. So funny. So when you tell yourself, ladies, maybe, or gents, that you are not good looking enough, that you're not pretty enough, if you're not anything enough, you need to switch that around. Just, I don't know, get on that bicycle and just think of Amy Schumer. You don't have to hit your head. Just think of her as she's on there. I don't recommend that any of us go try to get hit in the head and that be our solution. Just make a new decision because the brain is a goal achieving machine. And if you say, hey, I want, here's something that Jen Sugarmeyer needs to work on. This is something I am actively working on. I'm not good at closing out conversations sometimes. And they just continue to go on. Like maybe it's the end of the night and, or, I'm out with friends and they want to keep staying out and I'm tired. I should probably just say, all right, I'm going to bed. And sometimes I do. Sometimes it drags on for longer. Or I was at this networking event and I should have left 30 minutes before I did because I needed to go to bed. So I need to be better about, we're done, and move on. My mother is great at this. She's like, okay, well, we are wrapping this up. And sometimes I'm good and sometimes I'm not. So that's something I'm actively working on. So all of these things you just actively work on. Nobody is hitting their head like Amy Schumer and it just happens. These things take practice. So give yourself some grace and go out and say, okay, I'm going to be confident, and then learn. If you go out and you say, boy, I just wasn't as confident as I could have been, say, that's great. That's great learning. What could you have done differently? Or what situation? Or what went well? Or whatever. And start to dissect all of the things and then take that as learning. That's data. And say, okay, so next time I'm in that situation, this or that or whatever, because they're just goal achieving machines. And that's it. So make a new decision. And that is that. Second limiting belief. I can never turn this around. How many times have we gotten into a situation and we think, oh my gosh, I am not going to get myself out of this. There is no way. Maybe you started a business and it's not going really well and you're just like overwhelmed. Or I was in my relationship with my ex-husband and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get out of this. Like, well, what do I even do? And I felt stuck. Nobody wants to feel stuck. That's such a terrible feeling. So when we are telling ourselves we will never get out of this, first and foremost, is putting us into a state of suffering. We are in immediate overwhelm. We want to feel like we are in control. So what do we need to do? Well, everything is going to be okay. The only person where it's not okay is if you are in that do or die and you don't wake up, yeah, then it's a different level of situation. But if it's a business, if it's I mean, it doesn't matter. We're gonna get through it. And it may impact your financial resources. It may impact some friends. It may impact your relationships. It may have whatever. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to get through it. They say it's not about the situation that happens to the individual, but how the individual responds. We all are going through challenges in our life. And if you are surrounded by people that are going to judge you because of the situation and how you respond, or excuse me, because of the situation itself, not because of how you respond, but because of the actual situation, like, oh, well, you were in this situation, then are those the kinds of people that you need to be around? You need to be around people that are going to uplift you. Now, if your response is that you do something evil, that you undercut people, that you're mean, that you're rude, that you're all these things, you don't act with integrity, okay, well, take those as lessons because there may be some whiplash. People don't really want to be around people that don't have integrity, or maybe they're not the right people that you want to be around. So, are you going to get out of this situation? Yes. Yes. Tell yourself yes. Goal achieving machine. I will get through this. I just need to keep to my integrity. I need to, keep my standards. I need to keep my cool. I need to surround myself by the right people. I need to ask the powerful questions, and I will get through this, and I will learn, and I will grow, and I will come back swinging harder next time. And that's all you can do. But you will get through the situation. If you tell yourself that you won't, then that is undercutting your confidence. And the last thing, I can't find happiness. How many of us tell ourselves, like, I cannot find happiness? Y'all, this is who I work with. So this is my exact ideal client. These individuals that are saying, I cannot find happiness. It just doesn't exist for me. For so many years, that was me. And I wasn't sure if I was ever going to find this magical thing called happiness. And I had given up on myself. I kept looking around at everybody else. I'll tell you what's one of the loneliest things is if you are not in a good state of mind, if you are in that limiting belief of you can't find happiness, yeah, don't go to the state fair where there are only couples and families. The only thing I saw, honest to goodness, when I went to the state fair, and I really wanted to be in a relationship. I did. I was really thinking about a family, and this was many years ago. And all I saw were all the families, all the couples, and I kept thinking, when is it going to be my turn? Where is this thing called happiness? I guess it's never going to happen for me. So, what happens immediately? I go into a state of suffering. How does that work for my confidence? It'll never happen for me. It's like walking into that bar. Are any of these girls going to want to talk to me? No? Okay, I'll just stand in the corner. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So you're going to find happiness. You're going to get through the situation. You are attractive. You are all of these things. You just need to make that decision. You own it. Nobody else can tell you you're not going to get through this. You're not going to have happiness. Nobody has that right to tell you. They don't. It's if you want to listen to and let other people determine your value, which why would you do that? No store owner comes in and is like, how much would you like to pay me for this? Because that's what store owners sound like. They don't say, tell me, would you like to pay $5 or $2? You customer, you tell me. No, nobody does that. Why? Because it is the owner of the shop that creates the value for that product. Don't allow your customers to come in and tell you what your value is. You are the only one that owns that. So, confidence. Yeah, We all need it. We all need it in order to just feel good. We want to be that Cinderella putting our foot into that glass slipper and we're like, wow, that's what shoes are supposed to feel like. Or the lenses at the doctor when they find your right prescription. You go, oh my gosh, now I can finally see. That's what confidence is. So these limiting beliefs that are in your life, when you start to find them and you go into a state of suffering, when you're like, oh, say, hey, what's the belief behind this? And then make a new decision. Yeah, I'm going to get through this. It's fine. No, nobody else defines my level of beauty. Only I do. And I am beautiful. I'm beautiful. No, I will be happy. I am happy. And these are the reasons why. And go look for some gratitude. So they're just decisions. Make that goal achieving machine. You tell it. You tell it what to process. And go be like Amy Schumer. She's so funny. Go watch that movie. It's so good. So it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Today I'm flying to Phoenix. And I will be in Phoenix tomorrow going live. It's going to be 4 a.m., but I will be there. I'm going to do it, which means I got to get up at like 3. That's crazy. But I'm going to do it because I love this. I do. And we are going to talk. We're going to wrap it up about confidence tomorrow. So, yeah. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you come back here tomorrow. Go out to Higher in Heels, download your free copy of our magazine. It is higherinheels.com. And if you want to write into the show and you want to get some coaching, it's higherinheels@gmail.com. And we will go through that on the air on Tuesday. So we're coming up. We want the world to know we're gonna let it show. Yeah, right, ladies. That's it. We want some confidence. That's it. Because we're coming up. We want the world to know we're gonna let it show. I will see you here tomorrow in Phoenix. Later, y'all.